Hey guys, today we're going to very quickly review transformations. So it should be another good day of practice, so let's go ahead and jump in. If I want to reflect triangle HJK over the x-axis, what are my new coordinates of H prime? Well, if I'm going to reflect, I know that means I'm going to go over and I'm going to flip my shape, so the orientation is going to change. Now, if I'm flipping over my x-axis, I know that it's this line. And that means that our shape is going to go from quadrant 1 down to quadrant 4. Because remember, our quadrants go counterclockwise. So quadrant 1 is the one our triangle's in. This is quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and we're going down to quadrant 4. Okay, so when I reflect, that means I'm just going to flip my triangle. So I'm going to take H, and I'm going to count down to my x-axis. 1, 2. And I know I'm going to go 2 beyond. 1, 2. Drop of my point. That becomes H prime. So H goes, our original coordinates for H were at 2, 2. The coordinates for H prime, after we reflected it over, become 2, negative 2. Now I'm going to very quickly reflect the rest of this triangle. That'll be J. K will be at 6, 3. K prime, I mean. Now, if I draw this, I see that I flipped this. So the orientation has changed a bit. It's just been flipped over. And our triangle's been moved from quadrant 1 to quadrant 2, or quadrant 4. So just keep those ideas in mind as we practice. Let's go on to our next one. Oh, one last thing. The relationship of these figures. A reflection just means flip. So our size doesn't change. So that means that these shapes are still completely congruent. They have the same shape. They have the same size, the exact same size. I could still put them on top of each other. It would look like the same shape. All right, let's go to our next one. All right, dilate by a scale factor of 1/2. My first thing that I'm going to do, we're going to do this about the origin, which means that all we have to do is multiply by our scale factor. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the coordinates of each one of my points on my triangle. So H is at 2, 2. J is at 4, 4. And K is at 6, 3. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to multiply each one of these numbers by 1/2 to get my new coordinates. So if I multiply 2 and 2 by 1/2, half of 2 is going to be 1. So H prime, the coordinates will be at 1. Now, J, if I multiply 4 and 4 by 1/2, both of those will come out to 2 and 2. And lastly, K prime. If I multiply 6 and 3 by 1/2, that's going to come out to 3 and 1.5. Now, I'm not going to take time graphing this. I just want to make sure that we understand the math. However, these figures, when I dilate a figure, that means that I'm making the figure smaller or larger. The orientation stays the same, but the figures become similar as opposed to congruent. That means they're the same shape, they have different sizes, but their ratios are still the same. So those are some things we need to keep in mind when we talk about relationships. Now, I think the best way for us to get completely ready for our benchmark is just to practice. So let's go ahead and do that.